Streetlifting versus powerlifting. The benefits of each, what is powerlifting, what is streetlifting, the drawbacks of each, the strength comparison, and what you should do. We're gonna see all of it on today's video. So, powerlifting. Powerlifting is a sport where you have three movements: the squat, bench, and deadlift. And in competition, the goal is to carry as much weight as possible. You have 3 attempts on each exercise, and you want to carry as much weight possible in every attempt. And the winner is obviously the one who carries the greatest total amount of weight. And streetlifting is a sport with similar rules. You have 3 attempts for each movement, and the winner is obviously the one who carries the most weight or has the biggest total. But on streetlifting, we have 4 movements: the muscle up, the pull up, the dip, and the squat. So let's start with the benefits of powerlifting. For powerlifting, the first benefit is the progressive overload is easier. Yes, compared to the streetlifting, progressing on the powerlifting movements is much easier. You have just to put more weight, and with time, you'll increase your strength. And of course, when you get more advanced, you may need some little changes, little tricks here, little tricks there, some variations that will help you progress more or faster or break plateaus. But as a beginner and intermediate, the progressive overload is very easy. You just need to get more weight to the bar. CNS adaptation. Powerlifting has a good CNS adaptation, which is very useful for other strength sports. Knowing how to recruit your CNS is very useful to produce as much power as possible, to be as strong as possible. Also, it's easier to start. You can learn to do a squat, a deadlift, and a bench press in a single day, which makes it easier to start compared to streetlifting. Also, one thing that I think is important, it has more money involved. And why is this a benefit? It is because you have more competitions, there are more people doing the sport will grow more, it attracts more influencers, people with big platforms, which motivate more people to do it. They will share the sport and more people know about it. And another thing I think is important is a lot of powerlifters can live off powerlifting because the sport has a lot of money involved, which I think is a cool thing. Imagine if you could live off your sport. That would be amazing. A quick example would be High Rocks. High Rocks appeared, 2-3 years ago and has blown up. And there's more and more people doing it. And there's more influencers doing this sport, and the sport is growing day by day. And a lot of sports don't grow because there's not much money involved. And now, the benefits of streetlifting. You develop more coordination than powerlifting. If we're gonna compare both of them. Compared to the powerlifting, you develop more coordination because you're moving your body through space, and this will develop more body awareness and coordination, more athleticism. This is also something that streetlifting builds more than powerlifting because you have a lot of explosive movement, you move your body to space, and is a very upper body dominant sport. Then explosive strength, due to the muscle ups, even pull-ups, you develop a lot of explosive strength in your upper body, which makes you more athletic. Skills, it makes skills come faster. Muscle up is a skill, front lever is another skill, that it will come faster for those who do streetlifting compared to do powerlifting, which also makes you more athletic. Aesthetics, in terms of your body, streetlifting is superior when it comes to aesthetics due to it being very upper body dominant. You have the pull up, the dip, and the muscle up, and these 3 movements will build a good upper body. Also, because streetlifters do supplement their sport with isolation for biceps, which for powerlifting you may not see that much. Of course, in off-season, powerlifters do this kind of power building, for correct their weak links and make them stronger. But I think street lifters do this better. And since the sport is more upper body dominant, of course it will be more developed. Also, it develops more mobility than powerlifting. Due to the stretch that you do in the pull-ups, you're stretching your arms overhead in this overhead position, which does not happen in powerlifting. And also the dips, you have big ranges of motion compared to the bench press, and this will develop a lot of mobility in the shoulder joints and here on the upper back area and even in the lats. Then, drawbacks of powerlifting. Limited movement pattern. Yes, this is something that I think is a little problem with powerlifting. Since the movements are just bench, deadlift and squat, they have a very limited movement pattern compared to street lifting, where you're stretching your arms overhead, you're stretching your arms, your pecs and shoulders here, and you have the squat. And you lack mobility. A lot of powerlifters, female powerlifters have a good mobility. I'm talking about the male. They don't have a lot of mobility here. They usually grab the bar like this. You rarely see guys that can grab the bar like here or have a good shoulder mobility. It has less carryover to more athletic sports. Yeah, usually powerlifters are like this tank. They're very strong, but they're not that athletic, which the carryover for other sports may not be great. Less coordination gains. Since it's just the barbell movements, you don't have a lot of moving your body through space, the coordination gains will not be as good as with street lifting. Of course, you develop some coordination due to the practice of the movement. Drawbacks of the street lifting. Progressive overload may be trickier. Yes, you cannot learn a muscle up in a single day. Even the pull-up. The bar of entry is much higher than in powerlifting. And this can be a bit of a headache for people who are starting. And for example, progressive overload on the muscle up will not be as easy as the bench, deadlift, or squat. You cannot increase the weight every week. You have to do a lot of explosive work, band work, acceleration work to get stronger at the muscle ups or to even learn the muscle up, which can be a bit of an headache for progressive overload. But the other movements like the dips and the pull-ups are very similar with the bench, deadlift. It's harder to start, as I said, due to being harder because most people cannot do a single pull-up. And imagine starting doing weighted pull-ups. Meanwhile, on powerlifting, you can start doing bench presses with just the bar, deadlifts with just the bar, and even squats with just the bar, and start adding 1 kg and so on. It has less money involved. Yes, street lifting is a fairly new sport here in the Western world, and there's not much money involved, so the sport is just starting, is growing. Since it does not have that much money involved, is not as big as powerlifting, but I hope with time there's more money involved, the sport will grow, there's more people talking about it, and we can get to the heights of powerlifting. It develops less lower body strength. Yes, we only have just the squat. Meanwhile, in powerlifting, you have the squat and the deadlift, which these two build a lot of lower body strength. Now, strength comparison. Absolute strength, powerlifting will take the win. Because it's kind of obvious, in powerlifting you will always have a bigger total than street lifting. And usually powerlifters are stronger even in the squat compared to the street lifters. So absolute strength, it goes to powerlifting. Relative strength, I'd say both of them both of them develop a good relative strength. I'd say that. Because there are people who are doing 10 times their body weight in powerlifting. Perkins or there's a lot of guys in powerlifting that do 10 times body weight, which is amazing. In street lifting, there's a lot of relative strength gains due to you're moving your body through space. So I think street lifting would get the win here. Comment down what you think, and also if there's other drawbacks on both of the sports or benefits on both of the sports that I missed out or you think should make it to the list. CNS adaptations. Both have amazing CNS adaptations which can carry over to other sports perfectly. Street lifters usually will be strong in other sports, even powerlifting, and powerlifters usually will be strong at other sports. So, carry over to other sports. Let's start with powerlifting. Powerlifting will have better carryover to American football because the guys there are big, huge, and strong, and is a sport which has a lot of lower body dominance. You need strong spinals erectors, strong glutes. Strong man also has a good carryover, and wrestling. Since in wrestling you have to pick a person, carry the person, throw it. You need a lot of spinals erector strength, glute strength, and leg strength. And street lifting, climbing due to the back strength development, forearms, CrossFit because you do the muscle ups, the pull ups, which can make things easy, calisthenics obviously, and even MMA because you develop a lot of upper body strength, coordination, which can help you with sports like this. And which one should you do? Well, this will depend on you. If you like barbell movements, if you want to get as strong as possible to carry as much weight as possible, not to worry that much about your body weight, because on powerlifting, the higher your body weight, the stronger you can be. Meanwhile, in street lifting, this may not be the case. The heavier you are, the stronger your squats and dips can be, but the pull-ups and muscle-ups will suffer. So you have to find a balance and find what works best for you so you can have the biggest total. Meanwhile, in powerlifting, the heavier you are, the stronger you will get. And the powerlifting, the entry bar is lower. If you're a beginner, you can start with powerlifting, get stronger, and then start exploring a bit of street lifting. If you want to develop a better upper body, street lifting will take the W, and for stronger lower body, probably powerlifting. For coordination, all these things I've said, the coordination, the explosive power, the skills, street lifting will take the win. And there's something that you could do both. You could play with both worlds if you have the base strength to start doing street lifting. You could do both, and mixing them together would give you the best, but you have to be smart with your programming. You cannot be doing deadlifts, pull-ups, back squats all the same time, because this can affect your recovery and eventually you will not make progress in neither. So you can have blocks of more powerlifting, blocks of more street lifting, or mix them together, doing pull-ups, bench press, and back squat, or doing dips, deadlift, and back squat. You have to find your goals, what you want to achieve, and decide. And yeah, if you have trouble with programming, if you want to get stronger, street lifting, I can even help you with powerlifting. You can schedule a call down below and I'll see if we can work with each other and I can help you. So that's it. Peace out.